About this, the Commissioner for Environment in Ogun State, Mr. Ogun, joins us live on the program from Abeokuta. A pleasure having you with us, Mr. Ogun, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you, Belinda, and Happy New Year to all our listeners.
Now, can we begin by giving us an update of your meeting with the Presidential Technical Committee on Flood that visited you and your team in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital?
Well, the committee, it's a fact-finding committee, and what the committee has been able to do is to establish primarily to investigate the areas of impact of the flood that we had, and they've been able to see it, and the kind of a flood in the remote and the remote coast and the river flooding. I mean the river the river impact kind of flooding that we equally had. So then the causes and measures that are required to solve the problem. So I think the committee is all about doing that. And I think we've been able to show them even our roadmap that we already have for solving, addressing our problems vis-a-vis our own programs, and also the projects that we lined up to solve all these problems. Don't forget that we have a lot of infrastructure deficit when it comes to flood management issues, structural deficit. And we're already doing something on what we are doing to scale up what we are doing, totally equal, and other multilateral and donor agencies will to come to support us in developing this fast.
Now, reports from NEBA reveals that over 4,000 households were affected by flood waters in Ogun State. What is your ministry and probably the flood committee from the federal government planning to do to avert this year's flooding?
Well, with the effort we are doing in the state, yes, some of them palliatives, and these efforts have actually reduced the impact of flooding. What we had about 3-4 years ago is not what we have this year. We do a lot of early warning signals. Communicating with the community is very important. It's the first thing. We have to carry the people along. They need to know when these early warning signals must be given in time so that the people will prepare to have to mitigate the flood that's inevitable. There's some that will just come. There are natural flooding that must come. Then there's some that are man-made, that the remote cause is man-made problems. So those are, for example, sanitation issue, people dumping refuse indiscriminately inside the drainage channel. We've been able to put an institutionalized approach to solving the problem vis-a-vis having the private waste collectors and our collect waste from households. So that has reduced the refuse inflow into gorges and canals. Then people building indiscriminately along the floodplain. We now have a synergy that works with the Ministry of Physical Plan and Urban Development, whereby you cannot get approval for your building until the Ministry of Environment sign off on it that you are not building inside the floodplains. And then working with the Ministry of Works to make sure that when we are doing our road constructions, the drain alignment and elevation can actually be well integrated to flow. If you don't do that, you find out you construct a road, and while solving the problem of road construction, you create a flood problem. So we found out that some urban flooding has been due to this problem of not synchronizing these elevations properly. So that we are doing on our own. But what we now need the support of the federal government for is that our secondary drainage channels, we need to line them. They must be concrete so that the dynamics of flow will be faster and be more effective, and the management will be better than what we have right now, where most of them are at drains. Maintaining our drains is very difficult. You have to dredge regularly, almost.
Okay, Mr. Ogun, now let's look at one of those man-made issues, which is the indiscriminate dumping of refuse, which has a domino effect on flooding. So how effective are the Ogun State environmental laws so that we prevent, and people that do this will know that they will be punished if they dump refuse indiscriminately?
Well, beyond the law, there's a conviction that must come with the people, and that there's a moral issue that runs with it. So are people really convinced that this law is meant for them, is for their own good? Yes, right now I think they are convinced. So there's a law. We have an adequate law that establishes an institution that must manage this waste. And also we have the cooperation of the CDAs to know that, look, if you don't do it, you are the one that will lose ultimately. It's not about the government, it's about the people. It's about the benefit of the larger society. So, and I think we'll be able to communicate to our people, and they're already embracing. You go around Ogun State right now, most of our urban centers, they are now cleaner than what they are, though it's still work in progress. You can drive around many of them, they are cleaner, they are better, and I think I'm satisfied as the Commissioner for Environment Progress. What is that? So for a flood issue due to waste, miscellaneous waste, I think that has reduced drastically. Where we now have a problem is the encroachment of buildings, people building within the floodplains. And I think we need a lot of education, and people need to buy in when we now open up these floodplains, so that the water can have its own way, and that we can stop people from encroaching. For example, when you shut down the dam, when you close the dam during the dry season, you now find out the river path, the width of the river will reduce. And people now see those plains as an area where they look like dry land, whereas these are normal flow plains for water. People start encroaching on them. And before you blink your eyes, they've started building. And before you say, Jack, you already have a almost two-story building in some of these floodplains. That we are stopping. Our surveillance is going to be more effective, that before you now put down the block in the floodplain, our men will be there to stop you, right? And these are man-made issues, and we need to do something about that, and we are already committed to do that. So we have a committee, which is an interministerial committee within the state that's addressing such issues.
Thank you so much for your time, the Commissioner for Environment in Ogun State, Mr. Ola Oresanya, and have a happy New Year.